Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. I am your host, Adam KN6QGV, with my co host, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, W9JAM.
Today, we're actually going to go over showing you guys our support site, going over everything how to create a ticket, how to monitor your existing tickets, everything. Also, where to find the CPS and software, as well as the firmware and everything else. So, without further ado, welcome, everyone. Jeremiah, would you like to start?
All right. So if you're getting your radio and you want to make sure that you've got the latest firmware, something that you can do is you can go to support.bridgecomsystems.com and see what the latest firmware is that's listed on the website. So you'll go to that website, and let me pull up my screen here. And all right. So as you can tell, here's the main support website. And we've got general questions, expectations, links to BridgeCom University, live stream and show notes, frequently asked questions, and then we've got the product support. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if uh, you need to take and submit a support ticket, you can actually go up here to submit a ticket. Let me show you that real quick. And you'll put in your name, your email, your phone number, the issue that you're having, and your order ID. So if you've ordered from us on Amazon or through our regular store, you'll put in your order ID. Um, Without the order ID, it's a kind of difficult to look you guys up sometimes if we don't have all the information. So if you need help getting your order ID, you can call us. We can give it to you over the phone, as long as it's in our system. Um, but this is where you fill out your
We cannot
support
look
ticket.
up Amazon order numbers. If you
Yeah,
guys give us Amazon order numbers, we can look them up, but we cannot look you guys up to get your Amazon order numbers. So a lot of people just say Amazon and they think we can look it up. We cannot. But you have to give us the actual order number to look up specifically.
correct. So um, under frequently asked questions, you can see all sorts of things that we get. Resources for kids and family amateur radio resources, getting started in DMR, how to tell what firmware version you're using, obtaining your DMR ID, and then you can click see more to see more options. Um, the customer service frequently asked questions, um, the questions as far as giveaway support, can you program the radio for me, lost a belt clip screw, where can I get another one? Um, Various different frequently asked questions that we get. So the other thing that you can find is the policies. This is where you'll find the complete return and warranty policy. Um, the plug and play package expiration policy, third party warranties and exchanges, as well as the frequency coverage policy and various different privacy policies, as well as terms of service, the sale and discount policy, the opt out policy, international shipping policy, and the band change policy.
Now, there are some more policies that aren't there. You can find them directly on our Shopify site under policies. We do have, policies on our repeaters, different types of returns, certain sales are final, things like that. So you can find all those on there, as well as the BridgeCom Plus policy and membership policy on there as well. So you can find, if you can't find it here, it's also going to be on our Shopify site. We
Correct.
are working on syncing them up and getting them all together properly, but this is going to be our main source where you will be able to find all your policies.
All right. So for finding the firmware version on your radio, you're going to go to Menu, Settings, and then Device Info, and then you're going to scroll down until you get to Firmware. If it's an 878 UV2 Plus, it should start with a 2 or a 3. If it's a 878 UV Plus, that'll be a version 1 radio, and that phrase version 1 will be important here in a moment. That's going to start with either a 1 or a 3, depending on if you've already updated it or not.
Correct. Now, before we continue, on the 878, they do have a new IC chip for those radios that came out after 301. So only 302 and 303, when 303 gets released, will work on those radios.
Right.
So if
You
you
will
have an
not be
issue
able to,
downgrading, this is why.
yeah, you won't be able to downgrade them. So click on product support and you'll see all the different options for the radios and the support options for different things. If you're looking for cable pinouts, that's right here under product support. In case you're trying to wire a different microphone for your 578, this is where you would find the spec for that. The original DV Mega and Pi-Star support, the SkyBridge support, the 868 handheld support, 578 version 1, also known as the 578 UV3 Pro,
Mm-hmm.
the 878 version 1, which is the 878 UV Plus, and 878
UV or
UV.
the UV plus. It's either one. It's the
Correct.
plus we sell. You don't have to have the plus version. The plus version actually means it comes with Bluetooth and GPS and some of those other features, while
Right.
the regular version does not. So both those 878 version ones will use the same CPS. The same thing goes for
Right.
version 2. The UV2, UVII is the version 2, and then the plus version just means it has Bluetooth and the GPS and some of those other features.
Right. So if you get one of the 878 UV2 pluses, right here is the one you're going to look for. It says version 2 model. If you get an 878 UV2, or excuse me, UV3 plus, you're going to want the version 2
578.
model right here, or 578, excuse me. A lot of radio numbers that go together. But let's go ahead and pop into one of these so you can actually see where it's at. This is the page that pops up when you click on one of these. And here's the cable pinouts again. And then here is where you click to go into the firmware area to find the firmware and the CPS. And here is the APRS receive setup information.
Correct. We'll make
So,
sure that's up to date. We are reviewing all these things. The CPS we do know is up to date. We always put the newest version that is cleared, and we do beta tests. So that way, any issues, we do know how to handle them when they do arise. And that way we can also provide them to you. So currently we are testing 303 for the 878. So if Jeremiah clicks on the firmware right there, you guys will see right now, we do put a warning up here because, you know, attempting to do these things, if not done correctly, can damage the radio. So we just want to make sure everyone knows the process and does everything correctly. But as you can see, it says the version 302 right there, firmware.
mm-hmm.
That's the current version. That will download 302N. We did not put the November at the end, but it will download the latest version for you. And you guys can always come back to the site and always check for the latest version because we will be providing it to you guys.
All right. So, like you said, 3.02N is what this link's for. And again, if you have one of the new 878 UV2 pluses that came out after the 3.02 firmware was released, it will have a different IC chip in it and cannot be downgraded to 3.01 or older.
Correct.
So,
Now, Jeremiah, do you happen to have a folder with the CPS already downloaded on your computer you can pull up?
let me take a look here.
Now, I know one question we get is, where are those backgrounds that we use in some of those pictures that we post in our ads and other things on our giveaways? As soon as Jeremiah, if he has one, hopefully he can pull up the folder here. I'd like to go through the folder and show you guys some of the things. I guess you got, no, yes,
Yep, I got one. It's for the 578, but the
that
backgrounds
works.
are still in there.
That works perfectly fine. So now if you guys can see here, there is a whole bunch of information. Well, the 578 has a lot more, obviously.
Yes.
As you can see, it has the BTO1 and some of the other things. But if you look in here, there is the display screens.
Hmm.
You guys can see that up, 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 up.
There
There
it
you
is.
go. Now in here, these are each the actual different screens that are on there. I know that A right there, that first one I've been asked about 3 or 4 times. Where can I get that? Where can I get that? There's one right there. There is another one down. There's the white A at the bottom right. There's the blue one on the bottom right there. Then there's that one. I actually like that one right there. Go up. Yeah, that one I actually use as my boot image. A lot of people ask me, where is that? That's the boot image I use. That was actually the 868 boot image, if I'm not mistaken, or the 787, sorry, the 787 boot image. And I actually use that. So when mine's booting up, I see it's starting services. It kind of looks like it's actually doing a startup process. It makes it a little bit more of a custom feel, but this is where you guys will find that. And you can update all this information in your CPS. There is a README text right there, I
Yep.
believe. Yep. Just small
For
writing on my
me,
screen, so.
just so you know, on my radio, this is the one that I use, just because it's easy for somebody to say, "Oh, well, this is my radio." If for some reason the label comes off my radio, and I can be like, "Really? You've got the purple and uh, like teal blue background?"
Mhm.
So um, there's that. So we'll hop back out of that.
But yeah, now let's go back one folder. Oh, okay, he jumped out of it. If you go back one folder, there's also a README folder or a Start Here folder, and that will actually tell you everything. All the changes made in the CPS, all the updates, all the different information. I don't think it's in that. Is that up?
Right
Yep,
here.
there you go. There you go.
This will have the firmware update procedure, the programming procedure for the Bluetooth if your radio has the old settings, um, the firmware upgrade procedures for both the 578 and the 878, as well as the change
Mhm.
log for the current version of the CPS and firmware, and the firmware update, including MCU reboot for the 578, if you don't
So
want
you
to look at both. So there's
correct.
plenty of information here.
Um, now in upgrading, let me say specifically for the 578, don't worry about if you choose the wrong firmware update. It will not let you choose the wrong firmware file for the different IC chips. There are two different, I think you just put a folder in a folder. Yeah.
Yep.
So in the firmware folder, there actually is,
One second here. There we go. In the firmware folder, which is right here,
there you go.
you'll notice there's two different firmware files, a GD file and a AT file. The AT is the newer chip that they use. The GD is the older chip.
I have a GD and an AT. So I've tried it. You cannot mess it up. It will not allow you. So don't be scared or anything. If that's the issue, you can upgrade it. It won't allow you to put the wrong firmware on there according to the chip. So that is one thing.
Correct.
Now back to the radio, what Jeremiah was saying. So as you can see, this is the background I'm using. You can see the kind of green and red custom with the different background. Sorry, it's a little blurry. The other thing though is there's a guy, Greg Bender, out there. If you guys don't know, he makes these call sign stickers. So you guys can actually go to his website. We're going to try and offer it on our website here soon. We're looking on how to integrate it properly, but you guys will be able to get those call sign stickers made and used on your radio. I love them. I have them on my radios. As you guys can see, there's my call sign right up on my radio.
There's my starting service on mine.
Yep, that's how I do mine. The boot screen's the same.
Then, well,
You might want to close your share. Might make it easier to see.
yeah, you can see mine has that purple on it. But and for those of you who are eagle-eyed, yes, I know I need to charge the battery.
One last thing I would like to show,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah, if you could pull back up the support site.
All right.
All right. In the top right corner, you're going to notice it says go to customer portal. If you guys click on this, what it's going to do is it should automatically log you in. It's a single sign-on, which is going to take your account that's with the system, and it's going to log you in. And as you can see here, he has BCU courses. That's a ticket. It's closed, but you could see all your tickets right here. So if you was to click on that, you'll see the actual status right there, the reply, everything going on. So you could see the whole thing right there and all that. If you need, you could just click on tickets, go back. If you need to, you can actually click on right there, file a support ticket at the top. It's just like on the main site, create a ticket, boom, here you go, your information, and it will automatically, you could put in what you need and get all your information here. But
Right.
please do provide, like Jeremiah said, an order number of some sort. I did see a question in here. What if you bought the radio from us at Hamvention? You do have an order number. If you don't, just say purchased at the event, just say got at Hamvention from you guys or something, and we'll look it up as long as you provide the email. I know sometimes it's not easy to find those order numbers for those, but you do have did get an email with the receipt on all of that. So Hamvention, Hamcation, any other shows that we've been to, you guys can just put that in there under the order number if you're not sure what it is, and we'll look it up. Because I do think it is a little bit different of an order number system than our normal orders.
All right.
Sorry, I saw that question, so I had you bring it up.
Oh, not a problem. All right. And then click here. It takes us back to the ticket system. So you can see tickets. And then get back to support. Just backspace all of that till you get there again. And
yeah, I got to add a
there's
link
main
up there.
support. So,
all right. Well, we got some questions here. Let's show this first one. You could stop sharing your screen.
yep.
The Bluetooth I pair with my 578 and 878 is garbled noise. I'm using the latest CPS. Is this a known problem? Dennis, the first thing I would ask you is what Bluetooth version are you using on your radio? That would be the question I have to ask. And the reason I ask that is because if you're using the older version and you're not up to date with the newest, then it does actually go garbled and slow because the speed is not up to the par with what it's trying to communicate at.
Yeah. It could be an issue with the Bluetooth software itself, or it could just be that your Bluetooth headset is not compatible with the Bluetooth board in the radio.
Correct.
So it may be a case of trial and error.
Correct. These aren't the highest Bluetooths, but they are, your device should be backwards compatible to a degree. And I would suggest first updating the firmware and all the software and everything for it and making sure that both are up to date completely and good to go, because that could just be it. It just needs an update.
All right.
Good question.
Next one. My 878 will shut down and reboot sporadically. I've got a couple of things to ask on this one. First of all, are you touching the volume knob at all when that happens? Secondly, if you pull on the battery, does it power off? If it does, then you've either got a bad connection with the battery or you've got a bad connection on the radio for the power.
There is another one.
Those, well, Adam, go ahead.
There is also a auto power shut off. Make sure that you do not have that enabled. Even though the radio switch will be on, it still will shut down the radio.
Right.
So
it'll
make
show
sure
an A at the top of your screen if auto power shut off is turned on.
Correct. So it could be one of those issues.
All right. Let's see here.
It's a two-parter.
Yep. So the first part, having an issue, hold the 0 key, and going to talk group 4000 works. Others do not.
What time slot are you on? If you're doing time slot 1, 4000 will still go through sometimes. Sometimes it just, I would double check to make sure the time slot you're on. Also, if you are using a hotspot or a repeater.
Yeah. It may be something with settings on the radio, but it should work if you press and hold 0. Make sure it says talk group and not private call.
Correct. You can hit the pound key on the bottom when you're doing that switch. So if you're holding down 0, let me pull my radio up here. I got started up. But when you hold down 0 and then you hit the pound key, it's going to switch between group and private. Do that before you put in the number. And as soon as it starts up. Okay, so talk group ID, private. I'm just hitting the pound key. That's it. So that's how you'll switch between it.
All right. Sam wants to know, is there a difference between the boot image versus the background image? You can actually use any one of those images for the boot image and the background image.
Correct. You can actually even make your own images.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that before. You just have to take one of those pictures, look at the size of the image that you need to create, and create the image to that exact dimensions, and it'll work perfectly on your radio.
Okay.
So there is no difference between them. You can use the boot screen as a background image, or you could use a background image as a boot screen. You can also use your own custom image as a either or.
Yes. Daryl, for your question, or the response to your original question, if you're not touching or pulling on the battery, make sure that you don't have that A on your screen. And if you don't, then as long as your radio is under warranty, I would suggest contacting support so we can get an RMA and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, we can hook it up to all our test equipment and find out what's going on. If there's an issue with the radio, depending on whether or not we can fix it. If we fix it, we send it to you, back to you. If not, we'll send you a new radio. So we'll make sure we get you taken care of.
Just got to be under warranty for that, though.
Mm-hmm. Correct. That is a warranty option.
And if you buy the radio from Amazon, as long as it comes from our store and you have that Amazon order number, then we're able to take and warranty the radio too. So don't worry about that being an issue. As long as it came from the BridgeCom system store on Amazon and it's within that year warranty, you're good.
The year, yeah, it's a year warranty. Like Jeremiah just said, the warranty is 1 year. Now we do, for those who are interested, when you do make a purchase of your radio, we do have extended warranties available. So if you did buy an extended warranty at the time of purchase, you will be able to utilize that extended warranty. I do know a handful of people that have taken that and have used it. So if you guys haven't done so, when you do buy some equipment from us, make sure you do buy the extended warranties.
All right.
Ken has a question.
All right. Adam, I think that's going to be one for you because I'm not sure how to fix that one.
Okay, for some reason, my original radio order is missing from my account. All the later ones are there, I guess you could say. Can you find it? Yeah, we can get in contact with us. You might have two different accounts. That might be the issue. You might have purchased it under a different email address or something, and that might be why it's not being found, or the email address could have been put in a little bit incorrectly, could have been misspelled or something, but we can always merge those accounts so long as you don't have an active subscription. If you do, we're going to have to probably cancel the subscription and then reactivate it just to fix the issue. But we can work on all that and get everything taken care of. So yes, if you put in a ticket for that, it might take a few days, but we will look into it and try and fix your account.
All right. Daryl, again, the warranty period is 1 year from the date of purchase. So if you got the radio, let's say February of this year, it would be under warranty. So hopefully that answers your question.
Ronald, would you like to key up Skywolf? For those of you guys who don't know, Skywolf is one of the talk groups we do use. We use it for testing. We use it for everything. So anyone interested in just hearing some conversations, talking to people, getting to know some people, you're more than welcome to use it. It is 319-1329. Once again, the number is 319-1329, as you guys can see it on the screen. I am keyed up on there. My SkyBridge right here is hooked up to it. So if you guys want to test those radios that are having some issues, you're more than welcome to use that. We will try and hear you and communicate back with you. I might just key up real quick just so you can see me key up if that's the case right now. If you do try and send it right now because we are live. But if you want to do some testing later and try and figure out that issue with the manual dial, we can do that over this talk group. Also, if anyone wants to just say, hey, check in, whatever, come say hi. There's a whole bunch of people usually on there monitoring throughout the day. Especially a lot of BC Plus members. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, BC Plus is our exclusive membership program. We do have 3 tiers, so anyone interested in joining, please go on over. I will actually drop a link here in a second in the chat. We do have 3 membership levels. We do have a monthly membership level for an entry level at $19.99 per month. We have the annual membership at $197 per year. And then we have our lifetime membership, which is $997, where you get access to everything. Now, BC Plus members do get early access to all our new products and services ahead of everyone. We do have new swag coming out soon, very soon, and all our BC Plus members will get first crack at all of that. So if you guys are interested in seeing some of those things, check out the program. Also, our lifetime and annual members do get access to early access to some of our exclusive big, huge sales events. So if you're interested, go on over to our BridgeCom site and check that out today. I will be dropping the link here in a second. Jeremiah?
All right. Well, I just discovered that I don't have Skywolf in my radio from the show the other night. So, oops. I'm going to have to fix that.
Oh,
All right. So, Larry says, Jeremiah, I just want to thank you again for all the help yesterday. You were more than welcome. If you guys need help, reach out via the support tickets. That'll be the fastest way to get a hold of me. And then I can take and respond back via email faster than a phone call. And if it's something we can fix via email, we'll do that. If it's something that needs a call, then we'll get a call scheduled. And if I'm free that day, I'll give you a call. If not, it will have to be when I'm actually able to. So, Sam, for your question, purchased the Ultra Code plug over a year ago. Will I be entitled to getting an upgrade when it becomes available? Yes. I do have an upgraded link for that. So, Sam, if you want to send a support ticket in, I will send you the direct link for the Ultra Code plug because I know who you are and that you did get it. So I've already know that's verified. And I'll get you the direct link.
yes, we actually are. We just released a new update, and actually now Jeremiah and I are fixing a couple errors that we saw in there. So for anyone who does have purchased the Ultra Super Code plug from us, please let us know if you guys are interested in seeing that new version. All right, let's see. Any more questions?
Just to verify, it was 3191329 for Skywolf, correct?
Yes, and I'll put that back up on the screen.
All right.
As soon as I could find it. There it is. Now, for those of you guys who are interested that do have the multi-network set up, for TGIF, our talk group on TGIF for BridgeCom is 2266. So if you guys are interested in seeing BridgeCom's talk group on TGIF, it is 2266. It's not as active as Skywolf. However, for those of you guys who want to test out anything going on with your multi-network code plugs, by all means go there. We also do have the multi-network code plug workshop for those of you guys who are interested. So that way you can actually get up ahead of the curve and learn how to set up multiple networks on your hotspot.
Correct. Don't be afraid. It's not as hard as it seems. You can get the TGIF network on your radio and your hotspot to work. Um, the one caveat is uh, if the talk group is currently tied, or excuse me, the time slot is currently tied up because there's traffic on Brandmeister or TGIF, it'll have to wait to clear before you can use that time slot. So it's recommended you get the Brandmeister API from their website and put that into your SkyBridge so you can have just a button to click disconnect to disconnect the talk group. And sometimes you do have to reboot the hotspot to get it to go through correctly. It happens once in a while, but I've had that happen with my SkyBridge, and I've even had it happen with the one that I built. So let's see. Sam just tried logging in, and the error, no account found with this email. How do I verify my email for this account?
Which service are you trying to get into, our store or the university site? Which BridgeCom site? Because we have a couple of sites and I just want to make sure we get the account fixed properly.
While he's doing that, I am going to try and get. Okay, so the main site.
Support site.
Yeah.
That's different. Sam, get us together after this, and we'll get that all set up. The Jeremiah and I will have to reach out to you to make sure that's all set up properly. Because it might just be that your account that's in our system might have a different email address than what you're trying to log in with. It's HubSpot.
Oh. Yep. Sorry if I seem a little distracted, guys. I'm trying to work on your guys' tickets too. So
Anyone else got any questions?
okay, how do
Here's
I
a good one.
update my 878's Bluetooth? Whoops.
Go for it.
All right. So let me pull that window back up. I'm going to show you exactly where the instructions are for updating the Bluetooth.
Aren't there two updates?
For the 878?
The Android and the firmware.
The Android isn't an official update yet.
Okay.
But 878. Okay, so bear with me just a moment here. Let me get that window pulled up here.
Now, for those of you guys who haven't done so yet, make sure you do like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you are on YouTube. Make sure you guys do get notified every time we are live. We are live every Thursday. We do appreciate it. The more thumbs up we get, the more we know you guys appreciate the content we're providing you guys. And we're trying to provide the content that is asked for by you guys. Hey, we got a troublemaker in the house, I see. But
Yep.
yeah, if you guys could please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that. It does help us, and it helps us know that you guys do appreciate the content we're providing.
Yes, and Adam, I have to make a correction. They have now included the firmware update for 1.06 on the 878s.
That's what I thought.
So here are the instruction files. And you'll
Bluetooth
notice,
update guide is the first one. The user guide.
let me see. Nope, that is for the Bluetooth headset.
Oh.
Or the
the Q8?
Bluetooth, yeah, not the Bluetooth headset, the push to talk button.
Oh.
Okay, so they included it. Let's go into the folder and
Upgrade
okay,
instructions.
yep. So those are the instructions. Um, so when you extract everything, you're going to need to have an Android device.
Hmm.
Um, or no, you don't. For this one, you just need the CPS.
That one's the
All right,
CPS. Yes.
right. They didn't upgrade the other Bluetooth part. So this will upgrade via the CPS, kind of in the same way that you do the firmware update on your radio. But your
Correct.
instructions are going to be in the folder, and right here is the instruction file.
You got to drag it over. We can't see it.
Um, 1 second.
So we got it. Okay. Let you do that. Let's see. There is no URL for that. That text is actually in the folder you download with the CPS. So every CPS you
Correct.
download, the newest one, will have this. This is just a Bluetooth folder in that CPS that you download. So now, as
Right.
you can see, it's telling you to push the PF3 and the PF2 keys while you start up.
Correct. And for those of you who don't know, your PF3 is literally the blue or green button
Could
that's
be
right next
orange
to
as
the
well.
antenna. Orange on the 868s, but it'll be a bluish green, a green, or a blue on the 878s, depending on which model you've got.
I've seen early 878s also that have the orange. Surprisingly enough, it surprised me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the button that's next to the antenna between the button or the antenna and the channel selector knob.
Hmm.
So here's the instructions, and it even has the instructions for the 578 in this file as well. But on the new 578, you don't need to do this. It's already done.
But I would recommend upgrading to 106 if you guys haven't done so already. It does help with a lot of issues. It's not just Bluetooth, it does APRS and GPS updates as well. So all of those are in those updates.
Okay.
Now we
Spade
got,
Answer has a question.
yep, whoops, fighting each other there.
All right, you do it.
All right, repeater not found message happens every time I TX on DMR. I connect no problem on analog. I'm unable to connect to any DMR repeater. It's set up as directed in the BCU training. Um, well, this could be a couple different issues.
Well,
Um,
first one that comes to mind is how far away from the repeater are you?
the second one is data ACK.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that's on. Third, you want to make sure it's in repeater mode on the settings. Make sure you're transmitting turbo. If that's not working, try high, but you want to be up in one of those at least to at least make sure you're hitting the repeater at the distance you are. Um, let's see. Also, make sure that you go in your settings and you might want to turn that off. It could be hitting the repeater. Now, I have this issue too. Um, the timing on the repeater is different than the timing on my radio for hello messages. And that will also cause a repeater not found message. So I'll sit here, I could talk on this, hear someone talk back, but the handshake time between my hotspot and my radio will cause it to say repeater not found. Same thing with some of these local repeaters. The other day it was saying repeater not found, so I thought I wasn't getting a connection, but everyone was still seeing me key up. So it was getting a connection. It's just the handshake time was varied, so it caused them not to cause the communication properly. So those are some of the settings we would check, and I would also check that. Like Jeremiah said, um, I forgot.
Distance can play a part in it. It can Uh,
Turbo, yes. Repeater, yes. Okay, make sure you're also set to data ACK
mhm.
acknowledge or whatever is checked. Make sure that's checked at the top.
The other thing to double check is the color code.
And
That
time
can
slot.
also be the issue. I know some sites it doesn't update to let
Hmm.
us know that they changed the color code or their time slot requirements.
What you might want to do is get to the repeater channel. I wouldn't actually try and transmit. You could try and key up, but it might not work. But what I was going to say is go into Digimonitor or promiscuous mode. If you turn on Digimonitor on both time slots and any color code, it will tell you the color code and the time slot that's being used. So you might have the wrong color code on the actual repeater that you're using, or it could just be that you're using the wrong time slot for the communication you're trying. I know a lot of people do parrot on time slot 1, and they'll do a lot of other communications on time slot 2 for certain repeaters. It all depends on how they have everything configured and set up.
And you just reminded me that I need to try that on that repeater that's literally 4 miles from me that I couldn't get to
Oh,
work the other night because it's still
yes.
showing traffic on Brandmeister.
Yeah,
So,
you may need.
Skydancer, I had the same issue that you're talking about right now, and I'm still trying to troubleshoot that one because everything I've got says it should be working.
Mhm. If you'd like Skydancer, you can open up a ticket with us and we can actually help you through that process of going back and forth. Okay, here's the thing. Is there a way to search the contact selection page to easily find a talk group? No. How do you add the Wolf talk group to the packed list on the contact selection page? Okay, that one's easy. The first one, the first question there, we wish there was a search on there. Please trust me. I've tried so many times. I've asked, other people have asked. Um, we're just limited with what they can do, and it is hard to get a search up in there. And I do wish there was one, but there isn't. As far as adding the Skywolf talk group, what you're going to do is you're going to go to digital in your CPS on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to go to talk group contact / talk group right there. Not digital contact list. That's a different one. That's actually everyone. You're going to want the one that says talk group contact or contact talk group. You're going to click in there, go down to the bottom of the list, double click on that first open slot. You're going to put in the name you want and then the talk group ID, which is 3191329. And then you're going to go to group chat, make sure it's set to group, and hit OK. That will add it in there, and you can find that in the list. Um, if you do it Skywolf, it'll be before all of those TGs. If you name it Skywolf, so it will be make it easier to find it. Um, but again, the way you name it in convention is going to be the way it works. One thing to keep in mind on that selection page, everything is alphanumeric order. So we'll go alphabet first and then numbers afterwards, and it will sort it in order. So everything that's TG, you'll see is in order, and all you have to do is try and find it in the numeric order. It's a pain in the butt, but it's the way they do set it up.
Yes. Um, let's see here. Um, you know what? I'm going to do this just because I have the CPS open. I know this is going to be very difficult to see, but when you go to add the Skywolf talk group, you'll hit the plus next to digital. The second option is contact / talk group. And then you're going to go all the way down to line 1616 if it's the ultra code plug and put it in right there. And when you
Now
double click,
again,
it'll
yours
pull up a window for you.
correct.
Um, and put in the information right there and click OK. Remember, this will vary depending on your code plug on
Correct.
what
So
you.
if you have something in 1616, just put it in the next available open spot. It doesn't have to be that one, just like ours. Everyone's going to have different. Some have less, some have more. I take out a lot of these talk groups. I have them all in one code plug, but the reality is I cut down my talk groups. There's too many in there that you're never going to use. What's the point of having them in your radio if you're not going to use them? You can always manually dial
Exactly.
them if you want to use them, but I try to do it.
Yeah, um, precisely. Um, I'm
Okay,
actually going to take an ultra code plug and change it out for me. So,
now, Skydancer, in order to use those repeaters, I mean, those talk groups like 9990 and some of these other ones, yes, it does have to be a repeater that is hooked up to the Brandmeister network. Not necessarily a Brandmeister repeater, but a repeater hooked up to the network. Now, if you buy one of our repeaters, you have the ability with our digital module to connect to TGIF, Brandmeister,
DMR
D-Star,
mark,
DMR Mark, D-Star, Yaesu Fusion,
NXDN.
P25, NXDN, M17. So the repeaters can actually, ours are very versatile, and I'll go through the digital module that we utilize. Every repeater is different. Not all of them are digital, but as long as it can create a connection back to Brandmeister, specifically if that's the network you're trying to use, you can do that. I do know a lot of East Coast ones, especially in the New York area, are DMR Mark, also known as DMR Plus. So those are different repeaters out there, and they do require a little bit different of a setup. So,
Yes, they do. I'm going to be going through the process of doing that here shortly on mine because it turns out there is a gigantic network of repeaters that are DMR Plus or DMR Mark up here in the Northeast because I'm in
mhm,
Massachusetts.
yep, that
So,
whole area is just covered with that. And then Florida as well also has a lot of DMR Mark or DMR Plus. So it depends on the repeater that you're connecting to. If you cannot connect to it on that, I would definitely look it up on repeaterbook.com or radioreference.com. Find out where the website is. Go to the website of the company of the club or individual who owns it, and get as much information from there as you can. If you have any issues, they do have tech support a lot of times where they can provide you with the support to get on there. The other thing is double check to make sure it's not one that makes you register first, because they may have a DMR ID list that if your ID is not on it, it'll say repeater not found. I just thought of that as well.
yep,
Some of these are closed network repeaters, so just make sure you're not trying to connect to a closed network repeater. And if you are, that you do have authorization to be on there and they will add your ID. And not all networks have parrot. Uh, TGIF, no parrot. DMR Mark, they do. I believe it's a group parrot. There's Brandmeister has a parrot, and then some of these other networks I know have their own. They call them echo tests and not parrots. So it's the
it's a
same thing. It's
yeah,
just a different app, realistically, that does the same thing. It records some audio and then plays it back to you. But everyone sets them up differently. There are private networks out there. There are those homebrew networks. There are those backyard
mhm.
repeater group networks, and a whole bunch of other networks out there. So make sure that you do your research when you're adding your repeaters. If you guys are interested in finding out more information about how to add your repeater specifically to your code plug and everything, I highly suggest you sign up for BridgeCom Plus this week actually, a couple days ago. We actually just did a uh,
BCU
show,
live video.
a BCU Live, on how to actually do that. So the replay will be available by this weekend. It's being processed right now and uploaded. So once it's uploaded, it will be published for the BC Plus community to have access to that again. So if you guys are interested, go check out the BC Plus community, and we will make sure that you get all that information and the shows that you are wanting. There's a whole bunch of shows. I think we have, actually, let me pull it up real quick. University BridgeCom. Let's see.
And I just got the dreaded band error on my radio.
I'll tell you exactly how many hours. We have a lot of hours of videos on there for right now. Let's see. Currently, we have 18.5 hours worth of content on there, 26 different lessons. So there's a lot of information on there, and we're about to upload, I think, another 2 hours worth of videos that we have going. So almost 2 hours worth of videos. So pretty much 20 hours worth of video content on there, and it's still growing every week. Bob
Okay.
says he's waiting on his Amazon 878 order to arrive. They mention a free training course. I'm on the BridgeCom University site, but I am not seeing the course listed. You are in there. The course is probably on the another page. So if you
It's
actually click
on
on,
page 2. So if
yeah,
you
if you're going to click on view more courses, I think it is, or whatever. Let me see. Let me go back one more
available
page.
courses, and then
Yeah,
at the
a few.
bottom,
Here, I'll share my screen real quick. I'll share my
okay.
screen. Share screen. Technically need a second screen for this. BridgeCom University.
Oh,
Okay,
Bob said he
so if you
found it.
guys could see, I'm on the main. Okay, well, still, I'm going to show everyone. As
Yep.
you guys can see, we're on the main site right here. All you got to do is click on View More Courses right here. It'll bring up a list of 6 courses. We go to
Uh,
page 2.
it's not showing.
It's showing on my screen. It says
There it goes. It
sharing
finally
it.
loaded.
Oh, so you want me to go back?
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys can see here, you see it, Jeremiah?
Yes.
Okay. So as we can see this, I'm going to click on View More Courses down here. We're on the main site, as you guys can see. You can also click on Available Courses up here, or All Courses down here. It'll bring 6 up per page. Workshops, multi-network workshop. Now, if you want, I would be purchasing this through our main site and not here. It should automatically link over and give you that product and everything. It just makes it easier for us to process and link it to your account, the actual receipt. But as you can see here, we have all our handheld or basic handheld, our Skybridge dual band hotspot, our Anytone course, our repeater course, and then 2 different workshops here as well, 2 of our first workshops. Amazing courses. These are a little outdated. They are getting new. We do have some new courses coming on. Let me see if I have them on my dashboard that we can see.
Skydancer, in regards to your question, I am contacting the person that is doing our shirts right now.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, here's a BTO1 speaker mic. We're in the process of getting that finalized. We have also a new Skybridge course coming out. So a plug and play Skybridge course. We also have a few other things coming out as well. Brand new course for the Anytones, all the Anytones. It's actually going to be both the handheld and mobile in one. We have a brand new thing that's going to walk you down the whole path from starting at the beginning all the way to the end. And it's a brand new course, and we're really excited about it. It's going to take you from 0 to hero. Now, Dennis asked the question here, what would I use Talker Alias for? Talker Alias is actually really good, especially if you have one of these older radios. As you can see, I have the light blue on the top. This is a version 1 radio of the 878. Now, I cannot have all 200,000 contacts in there. I can only have 200,000 contacts in there. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I can't have all of the contacts in there because of the 200,000 limit. There's 230 or 40,000 people now, if not more. And obviously that radio can't handle all that. Talker
Right.
Alias is actually going to allow you to pull that information from over the air so that way it'll broadcast to you just the basic information. Hey, this is their DMR ID, this is their name, this is their call sign. And it's just going to give you the basic information that you pull from over the air. Now, the networks and the servers usually pass that information along. However, it is good practice on all my channels. I click Talker Alias as one of the settings on my digital, so it automatically will send my information that I have set out to someone along with it. So there's a data packet that just follows in one of those time slots, in one of the TDMAs packets that follow. So it's a data packet that just follows the voice. Someone just keyed up. But Talker alias is used for that. It will allow you to get the information off of someone or for someone without having to update your list. Now it's great for traveling. It's great for an emergency radio, especially if you haven't updated it in a while with the newest talk groups, or I mean not talk groups, but user lists and everything. So it does come in handy. When you do start to see that come through as a priority over your channel, so set it to in your CPS under Talker alias to use your contacts primarily. So if it's in your contact list, it's going to take that information. If it's not, then you'll see, hey, it has Talker alias. When you start seeing a lot of Talker alias things, maybe you know, hey, it's time for me to update my radio because I don't have the latest list of individuals in my radio. Would you add anything to that, Jeremiah?
No. At this point, uh, Skydancer, I did get the message over to the person who's here, getting our shirts for the shop to ask them if we can get one of those shirts that says that,
We probably
because
could.
that would actually be awesome.
We could probably add it to our list of products. That wouldn't be a problem.
So other than that, unless there's more questions, I don't really have anything else to add today.
Yeah, today was a really good day. Not many people came, but very informative. Great questions today. Thank you guys for all the questions. We really do appreciate it. Got power T-shirt.
You're never gonna live that one down.
Nope, nope, nope. Should say got battery backup, but anyways, we really do appreciate each and every one of you. We do know that you guys can be anywhere during your lunch hour. There is a couple minutes left, so we are going to let you guys finish up so you can get back to work. But again, on behalf of the whole BridgeCom family, we want to thank you. Yeah, so this is Adam, KN6QGV with my co-host.
Jeremiah, W9JAM,
Signing
73s.
off, 73.